MiniWarGaming Speed the Cooler Bat Rap.
Grey Knight's turn 1. So here we have the Grey Knight's actually getting the counterattack against my Tau. First thing, he moves his Land Raider up 6 inches, and the Hammer, or the Rhino, directly behind my Devilfish. He moves his giant, heaping Grey Knight, Terminator, Paladin squad, and the Purgation squad auto-rally because they're Space Marines, and then they get to move because they're Space Marines. And he has his Dread Knight move over closer to my tank, and out of the Land Raider pops 10 strike squads, which I totally forgot were inside that tank. So a bunch of guys who have hammers and psi cannons just jumped out, which I am definitely not impressed with. And so this I also did not think of when he put that Dread Knight there. He needs 2s to wound, and I don't get an armor save. So a large number of Fire Warriors are killed outright. I think only 3 survive out of the ones that were hit. And then the one guy who wasn't actually hit. And then he has another one. So he drops the large template on the survivors and 2s to wound on them. And they're dead. So an entire Pathfinder team is wiped out in 2 shots. He shoots his las cannon at my tank, twin-linked but misses. Shoots the other one, twin-linked but misses. And then shoots the unit in the middle there. Oh no, this is his Psyker check. He's using his Librarian to drop a strength 10 or something blast on this tank. We moved it, then we measured, but he didn't actually make it, needing a 3. Then he fires away with his larger guns against the tank there. This is coming from the infantry in the building, the Purgation squad. And they need 6s to glance, but because it's rending, it's actually a pen. And he does do a structure point and makes it so it's unable to move. He then shoots it with the infantry directly in front of it, the strike squad there, needing 6s, does not get it. Then he shoots the Rhino in the back of the Devilfish, but he needed 6s to glance, does not get it. He goes to shoot the Turbo Penetrator round at this, so it's 4d6 pen. And he does actually pen, but I do fail my save, so it's, or no, it was just a glance, so he does this hull point. So another hull point on that Devilfish. Then he fires with the heavy weapons in the Terminator squad. He gets 2 hits, 1, but not enough. I make my cover save. He then charges in with his strike squad, rushing into that tank there, aiming to blow it up. Now the colored dice are different strength guys. I'm pretty sure the blue ones are the hammers, but this is the flechette launchers launching back. So we actually kill one of the hammers before he gets to swing. And the red one was his Justicar, and the green ones were his other heavy weapons in that group. They all get to attack though, and he did use the psychic power that gives him the +1 strength and easily blows up that tank. So there goes one of my hammerheads, turn 1 Grey Knights. Very disappointing, but here we are at the bottom of turn 1 from Grey Knights and Tau. Not looking good for Tau as far as pushing in is concerned. They've lost one of their tanks, an entire unit of Pathfinders. The Grey Knights really haven't lost anything. They lost 3 guys in their Purgation squad and a heavy bolter on the Land Raider. So we'll see what we can do here. So turn 2 for Tau's coming up. We've got, basically I still need to push through, get across this bridge, and that's what I'm going to start doing here. First I get to roll for my reserves though, and one of my battlesuit teams comes in. And they scatter a little bit, but not a big deal. Land right at the far end of the board in the middle of the exploding barrels, which, not really worried, should have made them stronger. Also, which I neglected to mention at the beginning, all of the infantry units in the attacker can call in a quad gun at any time during their turn, which basically acts like an automated weapon. So either you can control it and shoot it like a normal turret, or it just acts on its own, shooting the nearest enemy. The Devilfish then fly out, leaving that building, heading towards the other objective, because they don't want to get out with the Dread Knight right there. All of the tanks line up, preparing to kill these strike squads in the middle here. So we've got the 2 Sky Rays as well as 2 Hammerheads. And that Sky Ray definitely did not like to stay together this game. The other Hammerhead moves up, basically keeping the Fire Warriors moving across that bridge. He tries to do some kind of shroud or something like that that would give them a cover save, which he does get, so they have a 6-up cover save right now, regardless. And I fire in with a couple marker lights, and then more marker lights in the center group here. which you get a whole bunch of hits, so he's got a lot of marks. So I used some of the marker lights on the the Purifier squad to fire Seeker missiles at them. 2s to hit and then 2s to wound. I get 2 wounds, and he has a 6-up though because of that. It does ignore intervening terrain, but a special move is going to give him the save, which he doesn't make, and so that squad's dead. The Fire Warriors then take a few pot shots, or rather the quad gun takes a few pot shots. Does 2 wounds, but he does have a 3-up armor save and makes them both. Then we've got the other Sky Ray shooting its marker light at the Librarian up on top of the hill. We use the marker light to boost the ballistic skill of the ion cannon tank, and the color dice were its ion cannon, which all fail to hit and to wound, but we do get 2 or 3 wounds with its burst cannons, and he fails one of those. So another model goes down there, which I believe was either his Justicar or one of the Thunder Hammers. Can't recall, but didn't really matter in the end. Then I'm just firing away with my different guns on top of my tanks. Burst cannons shooting, hitting on 2 or 3s because I didn't want to boost this one, just in case. Then wounding on 3s, and I do 2 wounds, but he does still have a 3-up armor save, which he makes, again. The Hammerhead then shoots using +1 ballistic skill, firing its large blast this time, which scatters 10 inches, corrected by 5, but it's still a 5-inch scatter, and it just barely clips one guy. So I need a 4 to wound, and I do wound him, but he's a Space Marine and makes his armor save again. Then it fires its burst cannons, hitting on 3s, or hitting on 2s because it has +1 ballistic skill, then wounding on 3s, so he's got 4 more armor saves to make. And this time, he does not make one of them. So one guy dies from all of my tanks. I decide to use the rest of them just to fire Seeker missiles at this unit. So that's 4 more Seeker missiles coming off of the different tanks here, or 3 more, no, 5 more actually, my mistake. 2s to wound, or 2s to hit, 2s to wound. They do 4 wounds, and so 4 die. No questions asked, pretty much. Strength 8, AP 3, basically a crack missile, and though he's down to 3 there, I shoot the other railgun trying to blow up that tank, and it misses again. The Fire Warriors then shoot at the Librarian, boosting their ballistic skill, so they're hitting on 3s, which did not help all that much, and then wounding on 3s, and he actually fails one of those armor saves, and then makes the other one, so he's down to 1 wound on his Librarian. The Devilfish moves over, heading to the objective with the movement in the shooting phase there. The battle suits, then one of them shoots backwards trying to hit that Librarian, hits him twice, and then wounding on 2s, does 2 wounds. One of them makes an invuln, which is the blue dice. He makes both. So, oh no, he failed that one because we made it so the white dice was the invuln. My mistake. I had that backwards. Moral of the story is, Librarian died. The rest of them, they then shoot. He's got a twin-length missile pod and the plasma gun from one of the units shooting at the paladins there. They do 3 wounds altogether, but he does get an invuln and then 2 regulars, but he fails the invuln and one of the regular saves. But he has feel no pain, which he also fails. So we were shooting at the assassin there, my mistake, but he takes a wound, and then we get to do our jump with the battle suits. So they move 5 inches directly away from the paladin unit because I do not want to get in close combat with them, as they will kill me. So stay tuned for part 3 and see what the Grey Knights do next.